What's up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Sharee, here for a final segment. Aw, that's kind of bittersweet, right?
It is.
Final segment with Bethany Rose.
That's me.
We didn't even get into the B. Robert part.
I know.
Let's just break it down real quick, because you know what? She is an awesome, visual artist.
Thank you.
And I know this because everything about you is awesome.
Thank
but
you.
also, I mean, you have some credits. I mean, when you can put credits on your bio of the galleries, that you have been a part of, like, you're legit. So tell us about this.
Well, these were a collaboration with another local artist, actually. What you're seeing behind us is a collaboration with another artist, another local artist. His name is Carlos Marquez. So my name is Bethany Rose Robert.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, how do I, because I have an art business. Mm-hmm. And when I say a business is because, I create the art. But, you got to be intentional about what are you doing with it. Mm-hmm. And so I have a business. And so my business is actually Pure Joy Productions. Everything is joy.
Shameless.
Pure joy. Pure joy. And so I'd always sign all my art B. Robert, because people always call me B. Like in basketball, hey B! It was just easy. And so people call me B all the time still. But then when I was like, well, how do I differentiate that from my music? Because it's two totally different audiences. Mm-hmm. I was going to just go by Bethany. Like Beyonce, Brandy, the Bees. But then I was like, my grandma always calls me Bethany Rose because her middle name is Rose. So she always says Bethany Rose. So I was like, well, let me just go with that. So that's how that was. And that's how I distinguished my music branding. But B. Robert, so I was always signing my art. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I think I have it right there.
Yep, I love it.
You see?
I saw it.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of from a marketing standpoint, I had to just kind of differentiate the two. And there's times I bring them together, mm-hmm. but sometimes I have to kind of keep them separate for business reasons, for marketing reasons, And then as people get to know me and they realize like I do both, mm-hmm. Then it is what it is. You can have more than one talent, but sometimes, people think so inside these strict boxes that you can't, think outside of it. But yeah.
Think outside of the box.
You got to think outside the box.
Okay, we got to be true. We got to be true to what we told these guys. And so we're going to talk about what are you doing now? Okay. What are you up to? Okay. How can we find you?
We can talk about that.
You just said you did a show in Ontario at the Toyota Center.
Yes. My calendar is always all over the place. Everybody's like, how do you know what your time? I'm like, calendar, phone. I have like 3 calendars. I'm like, let me write it here, there, and there so I can drill it in my head. Time management is huge when you're an artist and you're running businesses. So I did just sing at the Toyota Center in Ontario with Leo Dan. He's a Latin artist, Argentinian artist, legend. And Angela Carrasco, she's another legend from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So I had a show with them, but then I also, I have my own projects, obviously, as an artist myself. And finally, I started this project in 2019 to release my first R&B album.
Woohoo!
Yes. Finally, after years, let's just say, of me staying up watching BET Midnight Love till 1 in the morning.
You're giving me all the throwbacks and all the feels today. I'm like,
you better believe it. That was my show. I'm like, how do I get from here to there? Okay.
We must be around the same age.
We probably
won't talk about that.
No, we won't, because when you turn 25, you stay 25, and I thought I was old at 25, but I've realized like life goes on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but so. In 2019, I was like, I'm finally going to do my album. Yeah. So I did a crowdfunding campaign, and I had a lot of supporters because I tried to do one the year before, and I didn't meet my goal. So then you don't get any of the money.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is going to be a good way for me to offset some of the expenses. Also, like, just to have people that it's like a community feel. Yeah. It's like, okay, they're part of this. It's not just me. I feel like they're part of this journey with me. And so I did another crowdfunding campaign, and I met my goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it got me enough to start the project. And then, of course, I had to put in my own money to make it happen. But I started working with somebody that I admire very closely and that I always wanted to work with. And so that was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing exactly what it is that I want to do. Well, then some things had come up with the producer's schedule where I had to kind of sit back and wait to kind of do, this or that. And so we ended up, I want to say, recording 2 songs when we were supposed to be done with 6 songs, right? COVID.
Oh.
It's the whole COVID thing. This was all supposed to be done before COVID, but because he's a sought-after artist himself, he had other things that came up during that time that we were supposed to complete everything. So then we released a single, which I did not want to release at that time because it was literally 2 weeks after the world shut down. We recorded the music video. He's wearing a mask in the music video, but this was before like the world shut down, right?
Wow.
So we didn't know what was really going on. So he's wearing like this gold dangly mask, thinking like this is just a facade.
I mean, they said 2 weeks.
Yeah, they said
originally.
2 weeks. I think he was going for that. You know what I'm saying? Me too. And so anyway, I think when that song was released, the first single off the album, we didn't realize how crazy this was going to get. So we kind of like lost momentum to get in and finish the other songs. So it was kind of like we got in, and I think we got 4 out of the 6 songs done. But then it was like this whole thing trying to get the music and this and that. And so I started working with some other producers as well. So during that time from 2019 to now, I released some bachatas,
Okay.
Singles. And I did release some of the R&B tracks as singles from the album until I could get the music in my hands.
Got it.
And put it all together. So when you talk about hard, the trials and tribulations, I always say there's no human resources department in the music world.
Yeah.
And I went through a lot to get my music. So I have to kind of go by that saying of delay. What do you want to say? Delayed but not forgotten, or whatever the word is, or statement is.
Oh, delayed but not denied?
There you
maybe?
go. Delayed but not denied is like kind of what I go by, because the process was so frustrating that it's bittersweet now. It's bittersweet. So I was able to launch my album finally 2 weeks ago.
Yay!
And that was huge. That was huge because it had been weighing on me for so long to be able to do that and to get all the, everything together. So I haven't had a chance to really promote it yet because I've had so much going on. But now I want to start promoting it. And I did get a printed CD. You better believe it.
Hey!
It's coming in the mail. I don't care what anybody says. I grew up in the 90s. And the 90s R&B is my love. And I like to look at a CD. I like to look at the credits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like to look who's on it. I like to listen from front to... Now, I don't really even have a CD player anymore, but that's okay. A lot of people do.
My car does.
You know what? I actually have one in my old car. I'm so sad I don't have that car anymore.
They'll come back. Everything comes back.
CDs are... Who doesn't want to listen to something from front? And here's the thing. As an artist... Spotify's great and all these things to get your music out, but it's like, I wanted to sell albums. I want people, they're investing in a product that, like, if people really knew what I went through to create this product, they would understand, like, you know what I'm saying? You're part of that. When you walk out with that CD in your hand, it's like you're part of, like, the blood, sweat, and tears that went into this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm right now, I'm in the process. I need to start promoting the project. Even though I've already released 3 out of 7 of the songs on, I think it's 3. Is it 3 or is it? No, I've released 4.
Okay.
So there was 3 that had not been released yet.
Okay.
So I want to start promoting the album, and I'm going to do a CD release party at some point.
Hey!
We're working on it.
Okay,
We're working
okay.
on it. But
Well, you're promoting it now, right?
Good
And where
point.
are they going to get it?
This is perfect. So BETHANYROSEmusic.com
Okay.
I have a pre-order for the album, which I just found out it's shipped today, so I'm going to be getting it in the next week. Woo! And I have merch.
Okay.
I have t-shirts. I have hats. I have tank tops. I have canvas bags. I've been ready.
Yes!
Okay? I've been ready.
Okay.
Because this project, when you talk about the dream from a young age, that's what this project is.
Yeah.
This is the dream coming to fruition, even though it's taken so many years, because it's a journey. There's not like any straight path. There's so many ups and downs. This is showing like I did it. I may not be where I thought I would be, like Mariah Carey status, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yet. No, but it's a journey, and there's other things that are important in life too. It's not just that, but just to like feel like I completed something that I'm proud of and that I envision myself doing is just an amazing feeling. It's bittersweet because it came with a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
This particular project that was out of my control. You can't always control what other people do.
Yeah.
In this industry or in anything. And when you don't have a human resources department or anything like that behind you, it's teeter-tottering a fine line. So why this is such a big deal is like I'm able to finally like release it, put it out there, and move on.
And move on to what's next.
That's right.
You know, okay, so I want to say this.
Yeah.
Because listening to you tell that story, how can I articulate it? Like, what you came up with it wasn't for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was for you, but it's like the fact that you hung in there through all the blood, sweat, and tears, through all the things that were out of your control.
Yes.
Like, I want to congratulate you on that. And then I also want to be like, kudos to you. You did that. And so many other people are going to benefit because you did that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how many people are going to be touched by the fact that you didn't give up on that project.
That's right.
And that you saw it through.
That's right.
So I think that's another one of the amazing things about artistry and the things that we can create is that they end up affecting other people.
Totally.
So if we don't give up and we hang in there for whatever the length of time is for the journey, like in the end, it's going to be beneficial. Like, you know,
I would say to anybody, and I agree with you 100%, if you have a dream that's in your heart and you're willing to sacrifice for that dream, you have to believe in it. You know what I'm saying? You believe in yourself, and no one can stop you.
Yeah.
But you have to believe in it, believe in yourself, and have confidence. You know, what gave me confidence is the Lord. And I'm grateful for that. Because I have that, I have so much confidence. I don't need to compare myself to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't need to go this or that. I'm confident in the journey, even though it's been hard. I'm not saying it takes away from it being difficult and hard, and when you doubt yourself, you know, these types of things. But you keep going because you don't give up. You just keep pushing. When it's what you love and it's what you're made to do, you don't give up. And I know a lot of people, you know, they think that because it's hard and this and that, it's you know, if you believe in it, you're willing to sacrifice for it, it can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah. It will happen.
It will happen. You guys, Bethany Rose. Bethany Rose. You have to go to Bethany